My kids love apple cider, and we had extra apples this year. So we took the stump of a tree that you see on the left and turned it into the apple press on the right. Here it is running. Just pop in apples, put on the lid, and press the plate down. Apple juice comes running out the slats, and the end result is kid approved. In this video, we'll take a look at how it's built. For this project, we start with a big stump from a tree. This one came down in a storm at the farm. It's about 20 inches in diameter by 20 inches tall. Step 1, take a chainsaw and square off the ends. Step 2, lop off the top and bottom plates 2 inches thick on those. There's only one shown in this picture, but you actually do need both top and bottom. Third, cut a square out of the remaining middle and remove that. It's going to be a big cube of wood, basically. While you're here, you should also square off the outsides of what remains of the center. Step 4, lop off the top of that center cut. That's going to be called your press plate. Take that center and you're going to cut slats in it in order for juice to escape when the juice is pressed out. I put them in the center and the corners on the bottom side, and then I offset them about 1/3 of the way and 2/3 of the length of this when it's on the top. And the reason for that is I didn't want this thing to be too weak by putting all of those slats in the same place. Step 6, cut 1/2 inch deep grooves into the bottom plate just outside the square that's created by that center. This allows juice a channel to travel through and drain into the bucket below this apparatus when apples are pressed. Also, while you're here, drill holes through the bottom plate and then send 3-inch screws up through the bottom plate to affix the bottom plate to the center. The following steps, we're going to just be dealing with the metal that makes this thing go. So get your materials ready first. You're going to need 4 sticks of 1/2 inch ready rod, each about 16 inches long, 8 1/2 inch nuts, 8 pieces of metal, and 4 of those pieces should have 1/2 inch holes in them. I just took these from an unused bracket and I hacked the bracket to pieces. They are small, about 1.5 inches by 3 inches. And then you're going to need 8 1/2 inch washers. Once you got all your pieces, you're going to weld the washers in stacks of 2 to 4 pieces of metal. And then you're going to weld 4 of those nuts to the other pieces of metal, and they're going to be centered on the 1/2 inch holes. Finally, take the remaining 4 1/2 inch nuts and weld them to the ends of the ready rod as you see. Step 8, fix the 4 pieces of metal with washers on them to the press plate in a square pattern. Then drill 4 holes in the top plate that match up to where those washers are on the press plate. You're going to screw the remaining 4 pieces of metal that have the nuts affixed to them to the underside of the top plate so that it looks like this. Now you can, finger tighten that ready rod through those holes and through the nuts, and they'll go all the way down, and the ready rod should land right in the middle of those washer circles to make sure they match up. The reason for this is we're basically creating a way for the ready rod to push down on something that's metal so that it's not pressing directly into the wood, which could snap. Last, you're ready to affix the top plate to the center now. So what you can do now is take those same 3-inch screws that you used to affix the bottom plate to the center, and you're going to run those 3-inch screws through the top plate and into the center. That holds everything together as one big piece, and you know that your ready rod is oriented correctly. After that, you are done and ready to run. So first, chop up the apples. Hold on. I used a knife to do this, and it was slow, and I didn't get very fine chopping of the apples. It's way better to use an actual apple chopper. You can get one online. You'll get way more juice per apple. Or you could build one of your own. I'm sure I will build one at some point, and I'll probably build it from a stump, so just wait for a video about that, I guess. Second, screw the top plate onto the center. Third, run the bolts and ready rod down, and that's going to actually press into your press plate. If you don't have an electronic way to do this, you could use a 1/2 inch breaker bar if you rather. And watch, you're going to see a bunch of juice coming through now, and it's going to land in the bucket that you've placed down below. Fourth, strain the juice that you collected in your bucket. You're going to have little bits of things in there. And fifth, enjoy.
Great.
Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unique and useful do-it-yourself builds.